Hello and welcome to the Financial Modelling World Cup Battle of 16. Here we go again, guys. Welcome. We are just about to start. My name is Danielle Stein-Fairhurst. I am a Microsoft Excel MVP and a financial modelling specialist. I'm joined today by my co-host Tim Heng. Now, he has been a Microsoft MVP for much longer than I have, and he's also joining us from Sydney in Australia. Hello, Tim.
Hi Danielle, it's great to be here.
Yes.
I've been watching the financial modelling competition scene since the old model off days, so it's exciting to see the whole financial modelling esports scene really growing again. We're still sort of getting started. It's growing from step to step, and excited to see how this is going to move forward.
Yes, it's very exciting. We are also joined by Andrew Grigolunovic. Now, he is the founder of Financial Modelling World Cup. So he is joining us from Riga in Latvia. It was his brainchild, his baby, to get started to create a competition where financial modelers from all over the world can get together to compete, to train, to learn about financial modelling. Now, it's only been going for just under a year, but every month it's been going from strength to strength, and anybody is able to compete. And from time to time, we run these amazing Excel esports competitions. So, hi, Andrew. We'd like to hear a few words from you.
Hi, Daniel. Thank you for a great introduction. I could never probably tell anything about myself as good as you have just done. So yeah, really excited to move the, let's say, Excel towards the esports direction. So, and today we have prepared quite some interesting challenges for the players. So I believe that not only the spectators, but also the players might be in a positive way surprised by the new standard of cases, the visual appearance of them. There is a lot of excitement, a lot of joy prepared for today, and there will be a lot of interesting and exciting battles between the players that will start very soon.
Yes, so thanks, Andrew. I'll hand over to Tim. Tim is going to tell us a little bit about today's agenda. So, Tim, if you could tell us a little bit about what we've got in store for us today.
Absolutely. So if you're all joining in now, you know that we're here for the Asia Pacific round of the Battle 16, and we are going to have a series of round one matches. We're going to have 4 of these matches. Each one of these is going to last 10 minutes. Each of these is going to be a one-on-one between various participants that we have. Once that's completed, one at a time, the winners of each of those brackets will be joining us in a quarterfinal round as well. The quarterfinal will be run simultaneously, so it's going to be a larger 20-minute case study. We're going to have the winners of rounds 1 and 2 competing, and the winners of rounds 3 and 4 competing simultaneously.
So we basically got 2 matches going on at the same time, yeah?
That's right, and it's going to be a challenge for us to cover all of it, because I imagine there's going to be a lot going on at the same time.
Yeah, it's going to be action-packed. Wow, okay. So we might just talk a little bit now about our sponsors. So we know that Microsoft is the major sponsor. So they have been so supportive in getting this off the ground, in making sure that these competitions can happen. Now, the other sponsor is AG Capital, who is Andrew's company. That Andrew is the CEO of AG Capital, and they are responsible for putting all of this together and for designing a lot of these cases. So can we hear a little bit more about that, Andrew?
Yeah, first of all, we're grateful for Microsoft for great support, both especially in terms of marketing and financial support as well for the prize funds. On the other hand, AG Capital provides all the organizational resources, and there is a whole team of very, very talented people working to make all this happen. Literally working like 24/7 over the last couple of days. So great thanks to you guys. So let's see how it unfolds, and let's see what's the big picture there.
Okay. Well, I think it's yeah. Okay. So this is what we've got. What we've got coming up. All right.
Yeah. So
So
basically,
Jim, would you like to take us through it?
All right, so our first match is going to be between Willem and JP. You can see we're going to be starting off in the bottom half of this draw. Diarmuid obviously is our #1 seed across the whole set of 16. Anup is the second seed based on their rankings in the Financial Modeling World Cup season 2021. And so we're starting off on the bottom side of this draw at the moment in the Asia Pacific region. So we've got Willem and JP to set things going to start us off. We're going to be followed up by Dahara and Samir. We will then follow it up with a match between Peter and Chong, and finally Gabriella and Anup. This will give us the winners of each bracket. Like I said before, we'll move to the quarterfinal rounds, where the winners of the Willem and JP match will face off against Dahara and Samir. And likewise, Peter and Chong, the winner of that, will face off against Anup and Gabriella. From that, we're going to have two winners. Yes, two winners at the end of this session, who will be competing in the semi-finals, which won't be held in 24 hours, but it'll be held in, I think it's 33 hours, because they're going to be joining the Americas time zone for the grand final session tomorrow.
Yeah, so the second session, Europe and US, kicks off at, I believe, it is 8 a.m. in London now. So 5 p.m. in London, we start the second round, and then the finals will be 24 hours after that. So it's over 2 absolutely massive days. So as we go through the matches today, we'll return to this board and see how we're doing. I think it is just about time to get started in match 1. Is that right?
That's right. That's right. Let's start the games.
Okay, so Willem is from the Netherlands. He has got, he's been around for a long time. He's got at least 25 years of experience with Excel. I can remember Willem was competing back in the model off days. So he is an Excel consultant and trainer. So, he is and he's the second in the European rankings. So yeah, good luck to Willem. Over to JP now. So JP Delevan, he is the 4th in Asia. He is a mathematician and he is an adjunct faculty member. He's also an independent financial consultant. So he is joining us from Manila in the Philippines. So good luck to both of you. All right. So are we going to be able to see our participants? There they are. Hey guys, how are you feeling? Hi Willem, how are you doing?
Very good, very good. Thank you, Danielle.
Great, great. So tell us, have you got some strategy? Have you got a plan for today?
With the kind of cases you guys create, it's hard to make a plan because it's so varied. But I got a cup of tea here to warm up my hands, and that should do it, I think.
Oh, great. Fantastic. Thanks, Willem. So over to JP. And how are you feeling today?
Well, I feel like since Willem is ranked 4th in the world, I don't really feel any pressure right now because I know that he's probably going to win, and I'm just honored to be here.
These cases are pretty tough, but it's really down to strategy, and everyone is different, so it really could be anyone's game. So good luck to both of you. All right. So is there anything, so you guys have had a chance to have a look at the case, yeah? You've just had access to it. You're looking at it now. Andrew is going to explain the case to us in a minute, but are there any questions from Willem or JP before we get started? No, all right. So should we pass over to Andrew, who's going to take us through the case?
Sure, yeah. And the first case, although we're playing Excel as esports, there will be a lot of different games today. And first game will be bingo.
Wow. So you're the author of this case, aren't you, Andrew?
Yes, exactly. I'm the author of most of the cases today, and actually I also wanted to give a great credit and a great thank you to Dan Meyer, who was the author of other cases for today, for tomorrow. So yeah, basically you will notice. So basically there will be differences in style for these cases. So the first one that we're up to is named Bingo. Yeah, so have a look at what we have prepared to the players. There are two players, player 1 and player 2, who are playing 50 rounds of bingo. You know, there are different styles. I have kind of researched the topics. There is American bingo, there is European bingo. So this is the so-called European bingo with a maximum of 90 balls, and they have tickets. So in America they have cards. There are a little different rules there, but in Europe there are tickets. And each ticket has 3 lines, as you see here. The first line is over here. That contains numbers 5 through 31, 42, 66, and 87. The second line is over here, and the third one is over there. And the same goes for ticket 2. So what happens during the bingo game? The balls are being drawn out of the machine, and here is the sequence. So in game 1, initially it was number 54, then it was number 67, number 80, and so on and so on. So the key goal for the players would be to go to the back of this table and to see which number was drawn in order to complete at first 1 line.
Okay, so they have to put the last number in those orange columns, and that's the result that they need to come up with. Yeah,
exactly. That's the result. And there's a little hint. So basically you should be getting like all these answers should be somewhere contained on these 2 tickets. So if you somehow manage to get let's say number 8 on the back as the answer, it clearly does not. No, it does belong over here, but like if it's, let's say, for example, number 60, which does not belong to any of these cards, that's a clear indication of a mistake. So, and by the way, you might use some different logic, different formulas over here to calculate for 1 line, to calculate for 2 lines, or the whole game. And the points will also be given, like there will be a little bit more points for calculating 2 lines. My impression was that it's going to be a little bit more difficult because you'll need to understand which ticket was the first to get these 2 lines. So, okay. Yeah.
Great. All right. Must be just about time to start the timer.
Any questions, guys, before we start, like about the rules, about the case? Are you clear what we need to do? Okay. Okay. All right then, Daniel. I think you should be the one who starts the countdown.
Okay. On your marks, get set, go. All right, you have 10 minutes from now to complete the case. The fantastic thing about this is that we are going to get to see their screens. So Tim and I will be able to have a look at your screens and show it to all of the viewers. Will be able to see exactly what technique and what strategies they are using to complete this model. So, okay, we are over on to, all right, this is Willem's screen.
Yeah, and this is interesting because the first thing that Willem has done, you may notice, is actually insert a bunch of columns to the left-hand side of the data set. This is an interesting move. I actually expected that everyone would scroll across the right-hand side, because one thing that Daniel, I noticed when we were looking at this case study and it came up, there are a whole bunch of merged cells everywhere, which plays havoc with your ability to navigate around your spreadsheet. A lot of the shortcuts that professional modelers will use, control left, right, up and down, really break down when you've got merged cells. And so not needing to navigate all the way to the right-hand side, really great idea.
Yes, this is amazing. I knew that this would be the case, so that they come up with something completely different to what I would have done. I would have, naturally gone to the right-hand side, and as Tim mentioned, the shortcuts is it's going to be quite difficult to use shortcuts in merge cells. So each of those circles that you can see that look like bingo balls are actually numbers that have been entered into the cell, but the cell is merged. So it makes it just a little bit more difficult to work with. And that circle is just it's just a shape over the top. So they're able to actually use the cell as the number. Are we able to zoom in a little bit so that we can see the formula that they're using?
I think that's controlled by the participants, unfortunately.
Right.
So we'll have to make a note for everyone else to increase the size of the formula bar. But I think we might be able to make some headway. It's always going to be a little bit difficult with some of the international participants as well, because formulae are in different languages as well. It's not always in English.
Yeah. Maybe we can have a look at what JP is currently doing, because he might have a different approach. Let's see what's on the other screen there. Okay.
So JP's actually created an entirely new spreadsheet to try and work this out. This is a very different approach to it. So it looks like he's actually copied all the data out of the main spreadsheet, and he's cleaning it up by removing the merge cells. Again, a fairly novel approach to tackling the merge cell problem.
Well, I've got to say that's usually my first strategy. Whenever I see a merged cell, I just get rid of it. So I think that's not a bad move.
Yeah, I mean, guys, the logic for these merged cells here was purely about design. Well, that was first thing, and then it was actually a nice test or a nice challenge of the participants' skills, because, for example, imagine you're working without a mouse. Like, you will not be able to navigate quickly without a mouse over here. So if you need to understand how to work with merged cells, how to remove them, how to overcome these obstacles. So the worse is the quality of the initial data that you get in your daily work, the more you're still actually prepared for these types of cases. But at the end of the day, it's visually quite attractive, and let's see how the guys do there. So far, it's 0-0.
It's very important to be able to handle those merged cells. Actually, I can see some people are trying to download the case. Now, I do believe this case is available. It should be available now on the FMWC, FMWorldCup.com website. I do believe there's a couple of the cases are available for free, and some of them are available for purchase. So if you'd like to follow along and see these cases for yourself, you can download these on the Financial Modelling World Cup website.
So have a look at an interesting approach for JP. He's putting together all these lines one after another, and I expect him to be writing some sort of formulas next to them. Actually, what he's just done, what he just did, he has removed the merged cells. He has put together the whole line of numbers in a more conditional, in a more, let's say, custom formats that we're all used to be looking at. Now he's writing these formulas. But there is a huge problem for him that's going to be coming up after he has received these results, and I imagine these results will be correct. He will have a hard time to fill them into the answer tab, because it's actually, again, that contains the merged cells. So we have to, after unmerging the cells, he will have to merge them again, or try to find some ways to overcome these ideas. Right now, JP is using an index match formula, or an X match formula, actually.
X match, yes.
Yeah. So to get the numbers, like the sequence of each of these numbers in each line. And after he does that, I imagine he will be probably looking for the maximum number in each line so that the line is completed, and we'll be comparing them. So that's a good approach, and he has 4.5 minutes yet to work. I believe he's on the right track.
He's going to need to use all of that 140 APM that he's currently pushing out there at the moment. So this is a new feature that we've got for this Financial Modelling World Cup round. You may notice in the right-hand side of your screen there's an APM monitor where we can see how frantic are the participants working at any point in time. So you can see JP is sort of peaked at about 185, and he's currently hovering at around 150 to 160 right now. Would love to go over to check out Willem to see how he's going, and A, how's the solution, and B, how busy is he at the moment. So straight away I can see his APM is way up there at 227, 200, he's pushing 200 right at the moment, which probably seems to be more keyboard oriented rather than mouse oriented. But let's see how he's going here. So it looks like, as far as I can tell, he seems to have put formulae in place, and he's matching it up, row for row for each of the two-player tickets. I think he's probably used a similar sort of system, using that match system. So let's see what he's coming up with as the answers.
Mm-hmm. Probably it's going to be the first person who gets at least some sort of answers. Probably going to win. And let's see how it's.
Yeah, we're down to the last 3 minutes, and when they complete the first part, we'll see it pop up on the screen at the bottom. So at the moment, neither of them have scored any points just yet. So
and
we still have 2 minutes to go.
I also wanted like this kind of pressure where it's like 2.5 left.
Willem has scored the first 5 points.
Wow. Okay. Great. That's a huge lead actually for now, where it's 15 for him.
Okay. Wow.
So probably
this is an interesting thing. I was actually wondering, how is Willem actually going to use this system to populate 50 games or 90 games that we're looking at the moment? That's actually going to be quite challenging. The structure that he's used doesn't lend itself to simply just copy and paste down the page. So this is actually going to be a challenge for his approach of doing it.
It looks like he's going to be using some sort of data table approach. Could that be the case here? Because he has solved for the first 15 points. That's okay, but he won't be able to capitalize on that. Basically, the whole case there is designed so that, like, if you solve for one case, let's say for one line in game one, you should be able to very easy, copy these numbers and get the points for all the other 49 games. And by the way, at this point, when there are a couple of last minutes left, and you're still, I've been there in their shoes. I've been competing in Model for 7 years. I've been a finalist twice, finishing as high as number 5 in 2017 New York finals. And this is, it builds some pressure when you know that it's like 56 seconds left, and you just don't really know, will you be able to manage to complete your formula or not? So let's see. I think that William has just completed 20 points.
He has done it. He's done it. He's got the full 20 points.
And now he needs to actually improve that for all the other games. It seems that he has got the first game right, that he needs to get it up to the other 49 games.
Maybe we can head over and check out what JP is doing and see how close he is.
Yeah, just for the last 2 seconds. Let's see how JP did.
So it looks like JP's calculated all the results that he's looking for, but he needs to get them over into his output spreadsheet. And he's got 5 seconds left. Oh goodness!
Oh my god! Yeah, it's gonna be so short.
All right.
And that's it.
Okay. All right, so the winner of that was Willem. Fantastic. That was an amazing performance, Willem. Well done. All right, are we going to get a chance to chat to the guys and see how they went, see how they're feeling right now? There you are. Hey guys, congratulations, Willem. Well done. That was amazing to watch. How are you feeling?
Oh, I was still modeling.
You won.
Time is up.
I won?
You did it. You got the full 20 points.
Oh.
Well done.
I think someone needs to get JP's attention, unfortunately.
JP's still
modeling.
Yeah.
It's
they can't hear us.
10 minutes flies by, huh?
Yeah, 10 minutes are gone, and basically it seems that you were both very close to completing this on time, and JP was going for a major solution that would solve everything, but he has never submitted any single answer, while you were able to submit an answer and you got the 25-0 win.
My plan was to first do the first one and then create a data table to do a general solution, but I thought let's first get some points in at least, but it was a really difficult case, Andrew. 10 minutes with all those merged cells. Really difficult.
Willem, that made the difference. Like putting in those 5 answers is or the 4 answers is basically what's brought you the win in this case.
Wow. I'm really happy. Thanks.
Fantastic. All right.
Congratulations, Willem.
Thank you.
All right. I think we're going to head back to the brackets, to the seed round, and see how we are doing. So that is so that's where we're at. All right. Okay. So let's move on now to the second game. Okay, wow, that FMWC Open looks like it's going to be an amazing event. It means that everybody is going to get a chance to compete in the FMWC Open. That looks like it's going to be an incredible event. All right, so who have we got up next for the second match? We've got Dara Shah. So Dara, of course, is a member of the Women in Financial Modelling group that we get together online, of course, and we train. We learn about financial modelling together. So Dara has 12 years of experience with Excel, and she's currently placed number 11 in Asia and Pacific rankings. So she is up against Samir. So let's have a look at Samir.
We'll have the graph shortly.
Yeah, there he is. So Samir Asadov, he's joining us from Ireland. He's a project finance and M&A specialist. I believe he, until recently, was working at Operas, and he's recently joined the Gridlines team. So that is Samir. Let's see if we can get them on the video link to say hi. Hi, Dara. How are you?
I'm doing good.
Yeah. Yep.
Thank you for the introduction.
You all set, ready to go?
Yeah, I'm just happy and here. That's all I'll do. But yeah, just happy to be here.
Great. Thanks for being here and competing. So hi, Samir. Nice to meet you. We haven't met before. So did I hear you say that you are half Azerbaijani and half Ukrainian, but you live in Ireland? Is that right?
No, that's correct. Hi everyone, and nice to meet you, Daniela. I think there is one correction. I'm actually never worked in a Paris or Gridline. I'm in mainstream renewable power and joined from EY.
Apologies.
No worries at all. No worries at all. I feel like I've lost some sponsorship money there.
Anyway, we'll get a person working for both of these companies in the next game, so don't worry.
Yeah. I was just a little bit ahead of myself with that one.
Okay.
All right. Well, welcome, guys. So our next case that we have up, shall we have a look at the case?
Yeah, let's do that. And this case is actually, well, it gives a little tiny advantage, I would imagine, to Dara, because it's about chess. And as you know, chess has originated from India a long time ago, like hundreds or maybe thousands of years. But you don't have to be able to play chess. You don't even have to know the rules over here. Because the case, as you see in the instructions, is about a little kid named Jack who likes watching his dad and his granddad playing each other. And well, apparently Jack doesn't know how to, he doesn't know the chess rules, he doesn't know how to write the moves of different pieces, but he was very interested and he wanted to make some notes for him. And he has written down, like, let's say, for example, he was over several games, he was watching for different pieces moving up and down the boards, and he made some notations like that. So, for example, over here, this pawn started on cell b5 at the time he came to the board when the match was already in progress, and then he moved one cell down and then another cell down. So your goal here is to write what was the final cell on the board where this piece has, finished the game. And apparently, in this case, that's going to be cell B3. And for your convenience, we also have this board over here so that you see like where are the letters, where are the numbers, and each cell has its own address. Like this is cell A1, this is cell H8, and so on. Again, there are different points. Like you will get less points for pawns, you will get more points for rooks, you will get the most points for the queens because the queens move the fastest, like any direction, and the furthest. And you also might be lucky we didn't include the movements of knights over here, so it will be even more difficult to work with that. So there is a maximum of 10 moves per piece, and also for your convenience, we have put together the arrows used for you over here to the right of the instructions, so you might save some time on not copying out but to using these cells over here. And again, these cells are not merged, so we have just played with the cell width and cell height, but the cells are not merged over here. So a total of 50 games, a total of 1,000 points. Any questions so far? So.
Okay. All right. It sounds like we're all set to go. Good luck to Dara and Samir. Okay, let's start the timer. Let's go.
And let's go straight away to some of the screens of the players. Let's start with Dara.
Okay.
So Andrew, you've given them the different arrows on the right-hand side, and that was the first thing that crossed my mind in this, that symbols are really hard to deal with in Excel. I remember fiddling with character maps, and if I was doing this, I was fully ready to just copy out each of the values, each of the arrow directions from the cells you were given. So you're very generous in this case.
Yeah, this actually was, when I was kind of triple testing the cases before the game, I kind of understood that like it's going to be a little bit too much for the players to make them, copy them out, copy them back in. It's going to be just, waste of time. So, yeah. And here is a little hint that they need to understand. They basically need to somehow split these let's say, directions towards the number of moves and the direction of move. And after this is done, they also have to somehow split the letters from the numbers. So let's see how the formulas unfold.
Yeah, so Dara is using a left function to pick up the first character of each cell and then making sure that it's a number. Okay. So what she needs to do is to take that starting cell B7 and move 2 down, 1 down, 1 down, 1 down, 1 down from there, and then work out automatically what that final cell is. Wow, this is definitely the Queen's Gambit of financial modeling.
Yeah, and I would imagine that the first 10 could be done manually. That could still give you like 100 points. In the previous game, that would have been a sure win. But you will not be able to score more if you don't write the formula so like down below, because for the the most points will be going for the queens, and the queens will have it will be impossible to score manually. That's for sure.
Mm. Yes, you could get to a certain point by doing it manually, but then you would, you'd certainly run out of steam pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm. Let's see what Samir is doing currently. So, So what he's doing, he's trying to again split using the right function, and he's separating the column number and the row number. So it's B7 first, and then he also splits the movements over there. That's a good approach there.
See, this is interesting because it might work for just this first one, but he's still going to need to get the directions of those movements to fall in as well, right? Currently, he's just subtracting that downward movement, which is all well and good. But I mean, there's two problems there. The first one, that only works for sort of shifts down the page. It doesn't consider any other direction. But secondly, and probably more importantly, how is that going to deal with the letters afterwards?
Yeah. When I was solving this for a, let's say, sample solution, I was actually transforming the letters into numbers. And the idea there is that, well, basically, if it's, let's say, cell B7, I was using that it's 7 on the end, and it's, let's say, 2000 in the beginning. If it was A7, that was 1007. If it's cell B7, then it's 2007, and so on. So basically, try to convert the numbers, the letters to the numbers in the thousands, and then it's easier to manipulate with them. So if it's a movement, let's say, to the top left, then it means that it's going to be +1 on the number and -1000 on the letter.
Sorry, Andrew, just one thing I want to highlight quickly, something that Samir's doing right now. He initially tried to do a sum of these movements, which hasn't worked because the values that come out as text when you use the left function. But the problem with that is what he's tried to come around is to use a negative sign or a plus sign instead to get around that problem, which is great because when you use the plus and negative operators, Excel's smart enough to automatically convert those into numbers when you're putting them into arithmetic. Problem with that is when you start trying to incorporate the space on the other side. So when he's pointing to the blank cells, that's why he's getting this hash value responses instead. And so in some respects, you know what Dara did earlier on by converting all those values to numbers as part of the formula and splitting them out, that would have been the ideal approach to dealing with this, rather than trying to deal with it at the summary level at this point.
Yeah, and by the way, this approach still has brought Samir the first 10 points, so at least he solved the first one. And here's a very correct approach over here, by the way, is that, you know, he's writing the formulas directly in the answer tab. So even if he's not correct at some of them, making these formulas correct later will probably give him a couple of points, you know, just by altering these formulas.
That's a really good point. I mean, looking at JP's screen at the end of last match, it looked as if he would have earned 3/4 of the points if the formula were right, as long as he just got them into the end result. So there's a lot to be missed out for if you don't sort of get your formula and get your results in place.
Mm-hmm. And by the way, have a look at Samir's APM. It's currently way over 150, 180, and it used to be as high as 276 at one point. So that's a significant, that's a massive actually movement. Do you know any comparison, team, on the professional esporters? How do they?
Oh, so professional esporters are interesting. You can have matches of games like StarCraft, for example, where early on you might see, you don't really need to be having a high APM. You find some people in like the 150 to 200 sort of range. On average, like the Korean StarCraft players tend to be around the 300 sort of range. And what they'll actually do at the start of a match, even when nothing much is going on, they'll actually be spamming different characters or different shortcuts on their keyboard and just hitting things over and over again to keep their fingers warmed up and keep them moving in preparation for, you know, when things get really serious afterwards. I think you see some cases where APMs get as high as 400 plus in some of the professional matches.
Wow. Should we jump over and see how Dara's doing?
Yeah. All right. So we're down to the last 3 minutes, actually. So not too much time for them. And it seems that she has actually the answers on columns AC and AD seem to be right, or more or less right.
She's got to get those over into the right column though in order to get the points.
Not quite. I think AD is the split of the starting cell. It's not actually the answer, unfortunately.
Ah, yes, you're right.
Yeah, right. So she hasn't quite added on those movements yet.
Okay, yeah, unfortunately, because I think I've overlooked one of them, and yeah, it seems that you're right.
It does strike me though that given that she's got the downward movements at least, you could probably quite easily just pop all the down movements in place, get the ups and downs working, and score a whole bunch of points from your vertical pawns. You might not get the points for the diagonals, but you'd still be able to sort of chalk up 50 points quite quickly.
I think this is something that Samir has just did. Have a look. He has 40 points now. He has a 40-0 lead right now. Let's get over to his workings to see how he does there. Okay.
Okay, so he split out the arrows, and I think it looks like he's trying to work out how that actually translates into something that he can use for more movement. We saw he had a bunch of additional columns off to the right-hand side to get ready. You can see his APM's actually pushed up as high as 300 in the time that we're looking now. So he's really getting serious. He knows that there's only a minute left.
Mm-hmm. It looks like we already have our winner. Dara has scored 10 points, but there's no way. I don't know. Unless we have a miracle, I don't think she's going to be able to catch up to Samir.
Well, for 1 minute, she could be actually doing the manual stuff, and she could still make it manually. She could easily score 100 points manually. Have a look, it's 20 points now for her. It's 50 points for Samir. It's 50 seconds left. That's an interesting endspile, or endspiel, how do you call it in English? So the end game.
Okay. Oh, it does look like Samir is trying to focus purely on the vertical, like I was suggesting before. So.
Dara has just jumped up to.
Let's see what Dara is doing. Maybe she's doing it manually.
Yeah, let's see what she's done.
Or these are formulas.
I can't see what she's entered in. I wonder if she's actually gone down to some of the harder pieces and tried to just lodge in a big score to start off with.
Well, amazingly, they're actually both working at the cheapest pieces. So, and have a look at the score. It's 40 to 50. It's just 10-point difference. And 4 seconds left. It's like, will any one of them score? And no. So, and the final score, it's so close. Oh my God.
That was really good. That was a really exciting game. Wow. I really didn't think she was going to catch up that quickly, and she made it really close. All right.
Yeah. So congratulations, Samir.
Well done, Samir. Can you hear us?
That was embarrassing.
How do you feel?
Oh, not very good. Yeah, it was really hard to decipher that direction. Good case, Andrew. Very hard.
Thank you, Samir. Still, well, I was expecting that this one would be, solvable, but under the pressure, it's very difficult to get the right approach there. And for these directions, well, probably the most correct approach was just to get it, let's say, how many to put it together, assign numbers to numbers and thousands to the letters and work it from there. I'll tell you one day how it could work, but otherwise.
Thanks.
Well done, Dara. Hi Dara, how did you find it?
Yeah, as you said, it's just difficult under pressure. I think I got a little confused initially because I entered my first answer in a wrong cell, and then I sort of got flustered. If I had
very easy to get flustered under pressure like that. Yeah, but you caught up really quickly. You were so close.
Yeah.
Well,
again, I'm just happy.
It was such a great entertainment. Samir was 15-0 ahead, and it was 1 minute and a half until the end. And then you started to gain your points, 10 points, 20, 30, 40, and you were so close to beating him, or at least to getting the draw there. But yeah, unfortunately, it's
Could have been.
It was a very close match.
Well done. Let's have a look at the brackets to see how they've changed. So it looks like it's going to be Willem up against Samir in the quarterfinal.
That's going to be a very interesting clash there.
Okay, so I think it's on to the next game.
Okay, so we're back to the studio and the next players. So Daniel, now you can, now you do have the player from Operas that recently moved to grid lines.
Yes, yes. Okay, so let's see who we've got. We've got Peter Rubecci. So he has 14 years of experience with Excel. He's a project a finance specialist and works with M&A. And he is currently 8th in the Europe rankings. So he is up against Chung. So Chung Nung is based in New Zealand, and he's currently 6th in the Asia and Pacific rankings. He is working at PwC. I think we have a couple of competitors from PwC today. So yeah, okay. Let's see. Oh, there they are. Hi, Peter, and hi, Chung. Hello. Hey, Peter, you are joining us from London, is that right?
Oh, sorry, Peter, you're just muted at the moment, I think.
All right. We can't hear you very well. That's okay. Hi, Chung. How are you feeling? You look like you're all set there.
Good. Yep, pretty nervous.
Have you got your strategy have you got your strategy all laid out?
I think I have an idea, but we'll see.
Yeah. Back to you, Peter. Are we able to hear you yet?
Yes, apologies about that. I was saying good morning from London, and yeah, good evening to Australia.
Yes. All right, let's go. I think Andrew is going to give us an overview of the case.
Sure, let's move on and see what we're up to. So we have just played a game of chess. Before that, there was a bingo evening, and now we're up to playing Tetris. This case was actually created by Dan Mayo, a long-time model of case design team leader, if you like. So he's very experienced in writing different cases. This will be probably more of a style you might be seeing in World Championship finals and in Financial Modeling World Cup. So, and here are the instructions. So basically, you're playing a game of Tetris, but the game is slightly damaged and it doesn't provide you the score. What you can get from the game over here is the sequence of line clears. So basically what all these different long text strings say to you is that you start at level 0, then you score 4 lines, then another line, then 2 lines, then another 4 lines, and so on and so on and so on. And there is some large total over there. What's interesting about Tetris is that the more lines you score simultaneously, the more lines you clear simultaneously, and the higher is the level that you are at, the more points you get. So basically, if you score like only 1 line at level 0, then it's going to be 40 points. If you score like 4 lines at level 3, it's going to be 4,800 points. So much more. And for every level, there is a formula over here how to calculate the number of points. So you probably have to incorporate that into your calculations. And another amazing thing about Tetris is that the level change happens every 10 lines cleared. So basically, if you have cleared from 0 lines to 9, then it's level 0. If you cleared from 10 lines to 19, it's level 1, and so on and so on. Just drop off the last digit of a number and you'll get the level you're at. Finally, it also gives you a bonus for scoring. Let's, for example, if you, as in this example over here, if you change the level from 0 to 1, then all the lines in this movement that brings you to the next level are being scored at the next level. So you will see the example over here. Finally, the change of levels happens, it's described over here. So the game starts typically at level 0, at 10 lines it's level 1, at 20 lines it's level 2, and so on. But if a game starts at level 5, it will remain at level 5 until the 60 lines are cleared. So basically, the first 60 lines are being scored at level 5. And you will see also the increasing level of complexity over here. So the first 65 games are started at level 0, then it's level 1, and so on up until level 9. And finally, there is also a bonus question for 100 points, a total of 1,000 for this competition, 30 points for each of these scores, and 100 points for the bonus question. So my suggestion is that you probably start with putting together all these numbers, and then you can get to the bonus question. I believe this case is pretty solvable, at least the first part in 10 minutes. So we'll be looking for some larger scores than in the previous two games. I understand there is a lot of stress for both of us, for both the players, and let's see how it goes in this game. Any questions, guys? So.
Okay, looks like we're all set.
Okay.
Okay, let's get the timer going. 3, 2, 1, and go. Good luck.
Good luck to everyone. This is a challenging one. Dan doesn't beat around the bush when he sets these questions. I'll tell you what. So the challenge for this really comes in a couple of phases, right? The first thing they really need to do is pass out all the sequence of line clears, get that out of the way. The second thing they need to do is understand how those line clears sort of create this cumulative total of line clears, so you can work out what level you're at. And then once you've got the level, you can then work out how much each of those line clears is actually worth, and then add it all up. Simple, right? Okay, here's the catch. These sequences are really long. When we had a quick chance to look at the case study just before, I think I saw one that had no less than 94 different line clears in there. And so if you're going to be modeling this in some sort of way that has one column for one line clear, you're looking at something that's going to be 94 columns wide just to sort of arrange everything left to right. So, there's a lot of stuff to do in just 10 minutes.
Yeah, and by the way, I also wanted to tell that actually it seems that Peter has a little bit complicated life for himself, because what he's using the mid formula to separate these cells. But what he should have been doing was probably the text to columns function of Excel. That would have he spent 1 minute and a half just trying to split these lines. Although it could have been done with a press of a button in maybe 20 seconds.
I don't know. Yeah, he may have a reason for it.
Maybe. Yeah. Let's see what Chung is doing right now. Okay.
Okay, so it looks like he's done the text to columns. He's split them out. He's used the comma as a delimiter and moved them into all the different columns. And then it looks like he's used a formula over to the left. Yeah, he's used a len formula to look at the length of the number of characters in the cell, which is going to be helpful.
Have a look at his speed. He's way over 200 APMs right now.
Look at him go.
Although we see in his camera right at this minute, he's got his hand up to his chin. So maybe that was a bad time to look at him right just then.
Well, what's different from other esports is that actually you really have to think. You don't have to all the time to action, because otherwise your castle will be taken or by the horde.
A lot of it is strategy, and spending that time to actually think through the strategy before just diving in, I think is really important.
Yeah, the big comparison, I guess, compared to other esports is, I think for most esports, it's actually a very physical event. The challenge is not simply the strategic element of getting the right answer, or sort of beating your opponent in a battle of wits, but also being able to physically keep up with that. And so my understanding is that the esports professionals actually have some fairly serious fitness regimes as well that they need to keep their physical body and mind sharp enough for competitive professional play.
Wow.
Amazing what happens here. I see that John is trying to use the index match formula to get the scores for different levels. What I think he should have been doing, he's writing a universal formula for any level of the game. Because right now, what happens there is that he actually tries to only solve a partial solution, which will bring him success if he is really successful only for the first 15 cases, only first 15 answers.
See, I think that's probably all he actually needs, to be honest. considering the performance of the last round, it wouldn't surprise me if one of their strategies would be to just wait for the last couple of minutes. If you haven't made any progress, I can see game number 5 looks very short. You could probably pass that, manually and calculate the number of points you get. And if that scores you, how many points is each question worth? Is that 30 points or something? 30 points per game. That might be all you need to win.
That was definitely not my intention when creating these cases. Really the goal was to see the people scoring close to 1,000 points, or ideally that leads a tie, 1,000 versus 1,000, and whoever is the first wins. But it seems that the pressure mounts, and it's not that difficult. It's not that easy to get into these scoring mode and to get the answers right.
He's going for some product now. Okay. Cool. Yeah, so just multiplying it out. So I think he's going to be close to getting.
See what Peter is doing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it seems that Peter is still struggling with putting together the numbers away. Oh. Yeah, it seems that Peter has not yet started here because he's still trying to split the numbers for further solving. The difficulty there would be that actually the numbers are contained in every second, so basically every second item, every second sign in this cell is a comma. So that poses some extra problem there. Let's see.
I think one interpretation that Peter might be having as well, that I'm not sure if he understands, is that the levels get cumulatively longer. So it's not that the level goes up every 10 lines, but the levels go up after 10 lines, then 20 lines, then 30 lines, and they progressively get larger. And looking at some of his outputs before, I think he might have misinterpreted that and is just assuming that it goes up every 10.
So he may get some, even though he gets some answers, they may not be the correct ones.
Yeah, I'm a little worried about that.
Actually, I imagine that in this case, it's exactly like that. So basically, it's every 10 lines, it's the next level. At least that's how the case is designed over here. But I think Dan might have more comments on that in the final session tomorrow. Let's see. So I think it would be interesting to get back to Chung's screen now. So he's flowering up here. Okay. Oh, he's building his. Have a look. He's building his table of levels further and further. So he will be probably scoring quite okay. It seems that some of his answers might be correct. He just needs to copy them into the answer tab. And it's still 2.5 minutes left to move on.
Yeah, we're still yet to score for either of them. But
yeah, I think it's going to be a major score. Like if he does this correctly, then if he just copy pastes everything and he gets a massive amount of points in an instant.
Yeah, I'm hoping that we see that.
Oh, is he trying to make a bonus question there? Come on, like he needs to copy these numbers into the answer tab.
Well, he's still got 2 minutes.
Yeah, but oh, that's interesting. He might be foregoing the win just by not submitting the answers in the right form, so that it goes also on the score line.
Because you don't know if you're right until you actually submit the answers, of course.
Yeah.
If he submits it and it's 0, that means he's got them wrong.
Let's see how it unfolds. At this point, it's 0-0. At least the model for Chung is clearly more elaborate at this point. It seems that the answers are flowing. I'm not sure whether he's put them correctly or not. I might not see all the numbers on my little screen over here, but I do.
You can see he's trying to copy them at the moment, and so I can see in his camera he's looking at the other screen. I suspect he may have copied them, but he's not got the right answers because the score hasn't gone up, and he's looking very confused at his second screen over there. So I'm wondering if there's actually an error somewhere in what he's done. So with 1 minute to go, he's trying to work out what's going on. Has Peter managed to solve this problem yet?
Yeah, let's see how Peter's doing.
Okay, so yeah, it seems that Chong's answers are incorrect at this point. So okay,
what happened in the case of a tie?
Well, in the case of a tie, the first one who admits he's not going to score any more points wins. But if they both fail to do that, that's going to be a challenge for us. We're probably going to give them a couple of more minutes to move on, maybe answer some questions.
Until somebody at least scores something.
Okay, that's a timer for some of them. Oh. Okay. So the time is up here.
Are we going to give them a bit more time?
I suppose, guys, Peter, Chong, are you here? Can you hear us?
Yep, I'm here.
Yes, I can.
Guys, it's been 0-0 so far. So
we're going to keep going until somebody scores.
Yeah.
Golden Point Esports, Excel Sports, right?
Yeah, we're gonna give you five more minutes. Let's give you 5 more minutes, and let's see who wins. You're very close. You're both very close to scoring at least some points. So please have a look at the rules a little bit, and let's move on.
Okay, we're into extra time now. So let's see whoever is the first to score. Or we're gonna do another 5 minutes.
We're gonna give the 5 minutes more, I think.
5 minutes. Okay.
Let's give them 5 minutes.
I think that's probably fair. I think if we just made a golden point, then it'll be whoever could pass that fifth game the quickest, right? So I think this way they both got a fighting chance of trying to get some points. We can see Chong's actually got some points on the board now.
Chong's got some points.
I think we may have just gone for that quick win, get some points on, just to see if that keeps him alive in 5 minutes time.
Sorry, let's see what Chong is doing currently.
Yeah.
I think he scored one game manually, and he said that enough here. Is that what he's doing? No, he's trying to put some numbers over there. Yeah, he's looking for some errors in his formulas. I think it's a little about reading. I think it's a little bit reading.
Can he work out what he did correctly for that one game, and then back solve what the problem is in his other formulae? Right, because I think he should be able to solve and get 900 points very quickly. Just finds the error.
I believe it's really all about finding the error there, and he has one of them correctly. So apparently he doesn't know which one. Let's see.
Wow, I did not expect this. This is just, I did not think that we would have a game where it was 0-0.
I think I know what's the problem for him. Some of his formulas are still looking at the smaller screen on the points up to level 3, and it might be the case that he could only score the shortest one just because it doesn't get over level 3. But, he might also be getting the numbers wrong. Have a look here. He has like 60 million points for there are points in millions on different levels. That's for Peter here. Yeah, but some next levels probably are a little bit misplaced. So clearly,
some people are talking about how this challenge is a lot harder than the previous chess challenge. So one thing I want to highlight is that because of the nature of these brackets, people are basically only going up against other people doing the same case study. So even though one case study might be harder, each participant isn't really penalized because they're also playing against someone who is also in that harder case study as well. So what you're really doing isn't competing against the case study and seeing who can get the best score out of 1,000, but actually who is the best performer for this task specifically. So that's really important to remember when you're looking to see who's done well or who hasn't done well. The scores between games don't really make much difference.
Exactly. It's very, very hard to make a case that's equally as difficult because also, you know, one case will be difficult for someone or easy for someone else. It's really just depending on their skills and strategy.
Yeah. Okay, so in this extra round, extra time, that's less than 2 minutes left. It's still 30-0 towards Chong. I don't think that's, but okay, let's see what Peter is doing now. So I think he has been able to correctly calculate the number of points being given for each of these line clears, but he still struggles to get the big picture there.
Yeah, his points, his APM is just his keystrokes are through the roof, but I'm not sure if he's very close to getting any of the answers.
Yeah, that's a problem here. Basically, it would be very interesting to see later, like we're going to be giving some, let's say, summary of the APMs, the highest APMs for each player, and to see who was doing better. Like my bet is that high APM will not be an indicator of a, let's say, massive overperformance. So it's very important what exactly you're typing, what the logic you're building into your formulas, rather than doing everything. So let's see what Chong is doing now. Let's switch the player.
Okay, we're down to the last minute. So his keystroke's pretty high as well.
Oh my God, 369. Wow, that's a lot. But he's still. I believe his key error there is that he probably didn't get past the level 3 in his calculations. Some of the numbers, some of his formulas are still leading to the table in columns K to O rather than to L to AA or AB it is. So I believe that he might have missed some link to some formula over there. But otherwise, well, it's still 30-0 to his benefit. So let's see. Peter has 7 seconds to respond.
With 5 seconds to go, I don't know if it's going to change.
And it's time.
I think that's it.
Oh my God. That was not the final score I was expecting over here, honestly. In neither of these games.
Hey, well done, Chung. Gosh, that was unexpected, I have to say. Great effort, Peter. How are you feeling?
Oh, I found that very tough. So well done, Chung.
Yeah.
Oh, I find it tough as well.
Yeah, both of you, your keystrokes were through the roof, so it was amazing, quite amazing to watch. Well done, Chung. Are you going to sleep well tonight? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Sure. If I can ask a question, which answer did you actually get correct? Do you know?
I have no idea, to be honest. Sorry, I can't see the score or any indication, but yeah, when I copied across, it was formatted very differently.
So I believe that's the shortest one. I imagine that the number 5 or something like that.
Right.
From what we noticed, it might be the case that some of your formulas were still referring to the little table from lines from levels 0 to 3, but not to the large table that you built with the levels. So that could be the reason there.
Yep. Oops.
Okay. Oh. So, but I don't see the exact split of correct scores over here.
That's all right. You've made it through, and you get a chance to do it again in a few minutes' time.
Yeah.
Thanks.
We do have a comment here on the internal chat from Dan, who's the case author, that, well, actually the case did not go as he expected. So he really was expecting to get some points over there for you guys.
I don't think anyone expected that.
Yeah.
Sorry, Dan.
Well,
sorry, Dan.
Right.
Anyway.
It must be time now for game 4.
Yeah. So here is the big picture. And I've never expected to be in the double digit scores for 3 games in a row. That was clearly not an intent here. We'll probably be making some adjustments towards the second session over there. But let's see how it goes. Now we have the next match between Gabriela and Anna.
Okay, so the final game for this round is between Gabriella and Anup. So after this match, we're going to go into the quarterfinals. So Gabriella Stroj is joining us from Warsaw in Poland. She is a very active member of the Women in Financial Modelling group and has given us presentations, and is always very, very keen and willing to share her expertise with the group. So she is at PwC as well, and she has a large number of years experience with Excel. And she is up against Anup Agarwal. So wow, he has got more than 15,000 hours of experience in Excel. He's a freelance financial modeler. He is the first in Asia and Pacific. Wow, okay. So he is he is also a veteran of these financial modeling competitions. So let's see if we can get Anup and Gabriella on the screen. Hi Gabriella, how are you going today? Good morning, I should say.
Hi, yeah, good morning here. Yes, I'm having a tough opponent today, but I'm wearing my financial modeling uniform, so I hope it will give me some more speed.
That will give you some good luck, and I've got to say you have got quite a lot of people cheering you on. I can see my chat is going crazy from all the other women in financial modeling who are cheering you on. So Anup, how are you doing? How are you feeling today? Are you ready to go?
Yeah, I am. I'm excited. A little pumped up, a little nervous, looking at what happened in the previous rounds. So yeah, I'm just hoping for the best.
Yes. So we have got another game for you to look at, of course. So Andrew is going to tell us all about it.
Yeah, sure. So the next up is going to be a board game. That was inspired by my little kids. His name is Alex, as the as it said in the instructions. So that's really my real life 5-year-old kid, and
he's famous.
Sorry.
He's famous.
Yeah, he's now famous. Hi, Alex. Hi. So anyway, for the board game, Alex is playing a very simple board game where there are 30 cells on a board, and Alex starts at cell number 0, and he has to reach cell number 30 by the end of his 10 turns. So he rolls a die 10 times, and he moves as many cells as there are on a die. So he starts at cell 0, he throws a 4, then he's on cell number 4. Then he throws a 1, he's on cell number 1. So nothing too difficult over here, except for the last part of the game. So like typically, if you reach the end, that's the end, and you stay on the cell number 30. But in this particular game, imagine you're standing on cell number 26 and you throw a 5. Let's, for example, over here. So imagine you were somewhere here standing on cell number 26 and it's a 5. So you have more points or more movements available than you need to finish the game. In that case, you're not allowed to go forward, but you rather go backward as a fine or as a penalty, so to say. And instead of going to cell number 30 and staying there, you're getting to cell number 21 in that case, and you stay there. And you go next from 21 based on whatever you scored there. So if you come to cell number 30, then all the next rolls of a die do not matter. You stay there until the end, and the answer will be last cell number 30. So for example, if by movement number 7 you're reaching cell number 30, then all the next moves do not matter anymore. Each game lasts for 10 moves. There is a total of 50 games. And the answers there will be somewhere in the range, I think, from 21 to 30. So not, well, the RAND formula could solve quite some things for you if you run up with let's say, problems solving this one. Any questions, Gabriella, Anup? Okay, seems there are no questions. Daniel. Shall we?
Yeah, take it away. All right, let's start the timer and let's go. Good luck to both of you. Let's jump over and see one of their screens and see what they're doing. I think, yeah, this is Seems fairly straightforward, but I think it's got a few curly bits. What do you think, Tim? Oh, we can't hear you, Tim.
Yes, sorry. So I can see it's got a bunch of merged cells. So I know, Andrew, you're the one who's set this task, similar to the first challenge that we saw. And I think this is, again, probably going to be a bit more of a challenge than the first one, because you can't just split columns and get this into a nice format this time around, because every column is actually important. You've got dots in both the first, second, and third columns and the first, second, and third rows. So the question is, can the participants basically work out how many items are sitting in each combination of cells, each die roll as such, and put that into a format that's easy to manipulate, that they can just copy down and copy across? That's going to be the first challenge for both of these participants.
That's correct. And actually, one little comment here, the cells are not merged. Basically, that's an object over there. That's a graphic taken on top of that. So basically, each roll of a die, that's actually a 3x3 area. So these are little cells. They're not merged. And the only thing that's the answer tab there. Yeah.
Yep. Sorry, no, I misspoke that. I was thinking about the number of the games and the columns across the top that were merged that's causing it. But yes, you're absolutely right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think that Anop is doing a right approach there. I've seen an even better approach there, that people were copying and replacing these little dots with ones, so he could be using that as some formula, but he's still got everything more or less correct. So what he's currently doing, he's putting together the number of moves in each after each roll, and then he's going to be calculating for the last cell where he's standing in the next column. Let us see what Gabrielle is doing currently. It seems that Anop is way on track.
Looks like Gabriella's on track as well. She's again converted everything out, and it looks like all she's trying to do is now match up. So not quite sure what the match is at the moment, but it does look like she has managed to get all the data into one table, much the same as Anop. So I think we're not going to be in for a zero score round this time. I think we may well be hitting 1,000 points and seeing who hits the done button first.
They're both making really good progress, and I think their approach is fairly similar. They're both doing some index formulas, and they both seem to be doing quite well.
Right. So here's an interesting thing, actually. Looking closer at Gabriella's problem, I don't think she's actually as close as Anop is. And the reasoning for that is that you can see she's actually got different numbers on every single line. So the formula seems to be counting the number of dots, but it's not counting the right dots. Whereas in Anop's page, what he actually has is the results coming up on every third line, so you know exactly what you're looking at. So it's entirely possible Gabriella might end up focusing on the wrong line or pick up the wrong value inadvertently and not get the right result.
That could be the case. That's exactly what I see. So basically, she needs to get the right dots and the right numbers out of her large table in columns S to AX, and it's probably something that she's currently struggling with. I'm not sure what. It seems that she's using these numbers from 0 to 1 and these 0.33 and 0.66. So denote these, which is the exact throw, but it seems that she might be struggling there to get the answers fast enough. Let's see. Anop has scored 40 points. So the first points for him. Let's see how he's doing. It seems that so he has the answer done, but apparently it's only it's 60 points.
So this is an interesting one, because I know, because I manually added it up thinking that, you know what, if I was doing this, I'd want my first game at least to count. The top row adds up to 30, I seem to recall, and I can see that Anop's got a number of 28 there. So I'm wondering if that last die, that 10 throw, the throw of a 2, isn't counting somewhere, or whether he's just missing a number in the way he's calculating this.
It seems that he's misunderstood this thing. Yeah, it seems that he should be, you know, not taking into account this. Like, he should be staying on cell number 30. As soon as he reaches 30, then it's going to be 30. That's it. So, yeah, that's probably having wrong interpretation of instructions there.
What's he doing on this new tab that he's created? What's he doing?
I think that he's using something for he's going to be linking his answer tab to this table, I would imagine.
Okay. That's a good idea.
Let's see what's Gabriella up to, because right now it's clearly that Anop is stuck, but Gabriella might be overcoming him. So if she is able to put together the right answers soon enough, then it seems that she might be about to win. But she really needs to be doing a very good job over here to catch Anop. Oh my God! Have a look. Anop has scored 620 points.
Oh
wow!
Yeah.
Wow! Thanks God. That's the first 3-digit score in this session. For me as a game designer, yeah.
Amazing. So what has he done?
Let's see Anop's stuff.
Yeah, let's see what he's done.
So this is an interesting thing again for me, that he's managed to get the bulk of the answers correct, but then there's a number of answers that he hasn't got correct. So you think, where is the logic discrepancy? Andrew, I mean, you set up this case. Do you know why some might work but some might not?
I believe that most probably, and judging from the number of points he scored, it's the he's not stopping at cell number 30. So imagine like it's been 8 moves, you reach cell number 30, you should stay there. Instead, what Anop is doing, he's going backwards, and then he's coming forward. And for example, in the first game, he comes to cell number 30 in the movement number 8. Then next time he goes back 3 cells and probably goes forward 2 cells or something like that. So he's clearly not doing this in a correct way.
Yeah, that makes sense. So he's it's a good strategy though, because at least he's got some of them right, and he's certainly doing well in the scores.
I know with 2.5 minutes to go, Gabriella has points on the board as well, so maybe we can go over to her screen and see what she's doing.
Let's switch to Gabriella. I think that she has all the chances to win now, because even if it's only 40 points, what's going to happen next? If she has received one answer correctly, if she's able to get all the numbers done, and the first one is correct, actually, she's copying the formulas. If she's able to do that the right way, she's going to be getting 1,000 points straight away, and there's going to be a clear win there. Anop is still struggling with some of the cases. Let's see. Have a look. It looks like she might be correct. There are a little bit too many 30s. It looks like too many 30s, at least from what I recall from the correct answer tab. Let's see. She might. I think she has copied her results. Let's see how she's able to find the errors. By the way, have a look at the APM. It's like the highest is 276. It's every time it's more than 150. That's quite a lot. Ooh, oh my God! Have a look at the score.
So Gabrielle has taken the lead in this match. She's clearly fixed up one of her formulae. We can see that she's managed to solve quite a lot of problems now. So now the pressure is on Anop in the last minute to see if he can catch up those last few questions he needs to get back ahead and retake the lead.
And remember that Anop actually is the second seed of the whole tournament. Anop is he and Diarmuid early are the top 2 seeds. We have specifically split them into different parts of the bracket so that they do not meet each other until the finals. But currently, it looks like Anop is not in a position to make the finals unless he has 30 seconds to correct his errors in his model.
It could happen. It could happen. So Anop is second in the world. Is that right at the moment? So
Anop is second in the world and first in Asia Pacific region. That's for sure.
So in the last 15 seconds, why don't we take a look at Anop's screen and see how he's going? Is he close to a solution?
10 seconds to go.
You can see he's copying his answers. Looks like he's about to paste them over into the answer sheet.
Yeah, but his answers are a little bit different from what Gabriella has. And the time is up.
He's made back another 20 points, and it's not enough, unfortunately.
Oh my gosh.
Oh.
Wow, wow, wow. That was an amazing, amazing match. Oh my gosh.
Tight result. That was nervous right
That
at
was
the end.
incredible. Absolutely incredible. Gosh, well done, Gabriella. That was yeah. I can't believe the change in scores there. Wow. How are you feeling, Gabriella? Are you feeling good?
Yeah, yeah. It was
Happy?
the easiest case of all.
And Anup, second in the world, and you haven't made the finals. How are you feeling?
You're muted at the moment, I think, unfortunately.
Anup, I think you should mute yourself.
Okay, yeah, I don't know. I got like, like a little bit of, I thought I did like in first 4 minutes, then I realized in last 2 minutes that there is an error. And then, so it was solving for like 60% of the cases, not for 100% of the cases. And yeah, then when I fixed it here, it was too late to paste the answer.
Wow, yeah. Wow. It could have been. It was really just who you're up against in that case. Okay, fantastic. Well done to both of you. That was incredible to watch.
That was the most thrilling item of this night. That's for sure. That was the most amazing one. That was so close up until the very last second.
Gee, we've had some exciting games so far. Let's have a look at Tim and see who we've got in the quarterfinal.
Yeah, so the quarterfinals will be an interesting one. Thanks, Gabriella can go off and start to prepare for the next match. But from our first round today, Willem took that in a close match. Samir took the second round, so they will be competing in the quarterfinals. And our second pairing are going to be Chong and Gabriella, who will be taking out the second spot in the semi-finals by the time the night is done. This is going to, just a reminder to everyone, this is going to be a 20-minute case study, so it's going to be twice as long, which, on the flip side, gives people more chances to solve some of the problems that we've seen. We've seen people so far have issues running into problems after getting a little bit of the way through and then not having enough time to solve those problems. So maybe the extra 10 minutes are going to be what they need in order to post some really big scores in this next round.
But it is a little bit more time consuming, I think this one is going to be. So let's jump over and take a look. Okay, here we are. All right. So hi, Samir. Let's start with you. Hey, Samir.
Hello.
Ready? Hello. Are you ready to do it all over again?
Yeah. Let's see how it goes. Hopefully it's going to go better than the last time.
Okay. And hi, Willem. How are you feeling? Are you ready to go again? Oh, we can't hear you, Willem.
Please unmute yourself, Willem.
Excuse me, I'm there. You can hear me now, right?
Yeah.
I'm looking forward. It's thank you very much. It's gonna be hard, but let's see.
Yeah. Hi, Chung. So, Chung, are you all set to go? So you've got your all ready to go. So, Gabriella, you've had the least amount of rest. Are you ready to do it again?
Yeah, I only just downloaded the file, but yeah, I will be fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Seems that we have an all PWC clash in your match against Chung. So whoever wins it's going to be as one semi-finalist for PWC. So that's an interesting one.
Yes. So I do believe we are going to be playing a game of poker. Is that right, Andrew?
That's correct.
Tell us all about it.
Okay, so let me then give a brief case introduction. So you actually don't really need to know all the rules of poker. You don't have to bet any money. You just need to understand how to make the combinations. And the logic is very, very simple here. We really wanted this case to be there just for the sake of design, so to say. So we tried to find the ways to put all these suits and colors and the graphics so that the case really looks like we have these different cards in Excel. So you'll have to understand how this is all being constructed to decompose the card values to numbers and suits, and to then form the combinations. So here are the instructions. So basically, you are playing a game of poker with your friends, and you take notes on the cards that are being dealt. And after 100 rounds of play, you want to summarize the results. So no money being bet. It's just about scoring the combinations. And here is in columns Z to AC in your file, you will see the list of poker combinations that are coming from the most, let's say, strong towards the weakest ones. So there could be a point there is no combination. There could be one pair where you have, let's say, 2 aces or 2 threes. There could be 2 pairs when you simultaneously have 2 aces or 2 kings on your hands, and so on. A typical game of poker is like there are 2 players, so each player has 2 cards on hands. So player 1 has a 3 of hearts and a king of clubs. Player 2 on his hands, yeah, and player 2 has 2 of spades and 8 of clubs, and they have a board which is actually like every player can use. And if you put a combination over here, so player 1 could construct a combination of 3 of a kind. So it's 3 of hearts, 3 of clubs, and 3 of diamonds. So it's a 3 of a kind, and all these lists of combinations are, they're quite easy to understand. They're all given over here in the list of combinations. So player 1 uses these 7 cards to create a combination of him, and player 2 uses these 7 cards to get their own combinations. And what you have to return here is, for player 1, you have to place his highest combination. Remember, it could be possible that the player 1 has, imagine, a pair of 2 threes and a 3 of a kind, 3, 3, 3. So you return 3 of a kind over here. Player 2 has only 1 pair of 2/3 here, so it's a 1 pair. And then you select a winner based on who has the highest combination over here. So it's either P1 or P2. In this case, it's going to be P1 because player 1 has a higher combination. As simple as that. Please note that in your tab, in your file, in the case file, there is a drop-down menu. So the answer should be submitted in exactly this form, so it should be like written royal space flush, not like royal 2 spaces flush or royal flush in 1 word or something like that. In that case, the model will not score you.
But you can still put formulas into those cells, can't you?
Yeah.
As long as they are exactly spelt the same way.
Yes, but on your answer file, you on Excel Online, you shouldn't we didn't put all these answer tabs, all these let's say all these data validations, just not to give you any hints about this case. So another couple of things you want to take a note on about building your formulas. So this goes with a progressive levels of complexity. So each level has 25 games. So level 1, it gives you less points, 4 points only. But here, the only possible combinations are, it could be either 1 pair of cards or 2 pairs, 3 of a kind, and 4 of a kind. No other combinations are possible, and a clear winner is always determined. So there could not be any ties over here. On level 2, no ties possible, but this list of combinations is also being added by straight and full house. So straight, it's when you have, let's say, cards of, let's say, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 all in a row. And imagine, and remember, you have to, for a straight, you have to put together 5 cards out of your 7 over here, right? So 2 cards could be like, you know, redundant, not needed there. And a full house, that's a 3+2. For level 3, any combination is possible. Also, no combination is possible on level 3. And on level 4, any combination and a tie is possible. And you will also have to solve for a tie. So just like if, for example, 2 players have each has a pair of cards, then the winner is being decided by. We have specifically selected the cards over here that all the ties are being solved by whoever has the highest card inside the combination is the winner. So, for example, if both players have straights, but one has a straight like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and another player has a straight like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, then the second player wins because his highest card in the combination is 8, not 7, as for the first player. Well, I don't think you really need to read detailed poker rules. You might want, you have 20 minutes to do so, but that's probably going to be a time waster for you. Anything else? Yeah, but another point, you need to understand that the points are being awarded only for a completely correct entry. So, for example, if you score correctly the first player, you have a correct combination for player 2, but you incorrectly decide the winner, then you are not going to receive any points for this hand. So that's how the scoring works over here. Yeah, in the quarterfinals. Yeah, and again, the combinations, the stronger combinations are on top, the weaker combinations are on the bottom. They're all set in the right sequence over here. So, dear players, Daniel, team, any questions, anything you'd like to add?
Does the ace also count as a 1?
Yes, ace comes as a 1 as 2, yeah.
Okay.
So ace could be high, ace could be low. In straights, ace could be used in straight for ace, king, queen, jack, 10, or it could be ace, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah.
All right, it sounds like we are all set to go. So good luck to all of you, and let's start the timer. You now have 20 minutes.
All right. Okay. Minutes. This is an interesting one. I know a lot of people have been using left, right, mid, and so forth in the previous sessions. Using left in this case sounds like it's the easiest approach to pick up the card type, but it's not, because if you have a 10, a left is only going to pick up a value of 1 rather than a 10 value, right? So it's actually a potential error, and we can see Samir is actually doing this on the screen as we speak. Once he copies this down, he's going to realize that, hey, this is not actually going to work the way that he wants it to, unfortunately.
Yeah, let's see what he does when he gets down to 10 and see what happens.
There's one little solution for that. He might find and replace all the 10s with, let's say, letter T. Dan Mayer was testing this case, and his idea was to, let's replace all the 10s with letter T's, as it's typically done in poker tournaments, so in online poker or anywhere. So that could be an approach as well.
See, the interesting thing I thought, because there's 20 minutes and there are 25 different hands that they need to assess. Is that right? Or no, they've got 100 hands. Okay, there's actually quite a lot of hands to go through. I was going to say, how many hands could you assess manually in 20 minutes if you were someone very experienced at poker? I imagine you could probably get a fairly decent score that way.
Okay, it seems that it's exactly the error that you were mentioning previously. So Summer has ones, not 10s, on his answers.
Over to someone else. Why don't we take a look at what Willem is doing now and see if he's found a solution for that.
Okay, so he's actually using the characters, the icons.
This is interesting. So, I mean, people do need to keep track of the icons, obviously, because you need to be able to measure them for your flushes and your royal flushes. But I mean, it's going to be challenging working with those, certainly.
I mean, my first thought was to need that you would need to standardize the combinations to sort of give a scoring or a ranking to each of those scores before you start, because without knowing what each of those means, it's going to be quite hard to put it into the columns.
I wonder if that's what Willem's actually doing right now, because you see this little table, it's a bit hard to see on the screen, but he does have the list of potential cards. Like this is a 4x13 table. I'm not quite sure what he wants to do with the values in the middle, but he does have a record of all the different cards down the left-hand side, like the different numbers and the different suits across the top. So perhaps there's some way that he's going to use this little matrix to solve the problem.
That could be the case. Probably like Daniel started a nice topic on like what's the correct approach to solving this. And I would imagine that probably the first thing you need to do is to split the numbers and the suits. That's going to be step number one. And after that, you try to score each hand or each combination, like trying to look like whether player one in game one has a pair or two pairs or three of a kind, and so on and so on. So basically, that was the approach that could bring you some points. And for level one, you only need to score to understand whether you have pairs or threes or fours, and then it could be done there.
Why don't we move on and take a look at Chong's screen and see where he's up to?
It seems that he's done quite similar thing. He's trying to split the numbers and the suits.
So you can see these first four columns are player one's cards, and the second four columns are player two's. And then it looks like he's got the river, the 5 cards in the middle, on the right-hand side. Of course, I say that now. Of course, he's moving everything around, but just my luck. But yeah, so it looks like he's kind of split them up separately before now only putting them back together again.
I've got to say, it's what I love about this competition is that it's really easy to understand for everyone. Even though it's financial modelling, it's really not financial at all. It's about the games. But the thing is that the techniques and the strategies and the problem solving aspects are applicable to any kind of model, whether it's financial or anything else. And I think that was really your idea with doing it like this. Is that right, Andrew? To make it more accessible to everybody, even if you haven't got a financial background.
That's exactly. We really, for these Excel as Esports, we really want to make the audience base and the player base as wide as possible. So like you don't really have to know all the, let's say, depreciation formulas or time value of money or anything. So, but this is really open to any person with finance knowledge, without finance knowledge, with statistical knowledge, with engineering knowledge, with any person who's using Excel on a daily basis. And that's really something that could evolve as another esport. So this is exactly what we're trying.
I mean, it's really testing the logic and of the Excel skills, and because in the monthly financial modelling World Cup that's open to everyone, it's very much a financial. The problems are always very financial, aren't they? But I understand in the FMWC Open they're going to be more like this. Is that right?
That's correct.
More accessible to everyone, so not financial.
Absolutely, it's going to be an Excel championship as such. By the way, have a look at Chang's APM. It's been as high as 369, and it's constantly way above 200. Have a look at the speed he's working currently. So there's other formulas he's doing that now.
You can see he's doing a count ifs to try and pull in the number of cards from each type. Which is going to work well for his pairs. So this is going to solve that first level of problems really well. But once you get into the flush sort of area, sorry, not flush, the straight flushes and so forth, I think that's probably not necessarily going to be a robust enough solution to solve those sorts of problems. And we'll need to augment this in some way.
On the other hand, it could be quite possible that some of the combinations below might be solved with this as well. So he might get some occasional points if he copies the formula down below till game number 100. Meanwhile, do you think we should look at Gabriella's screen? Because I think we have seen the screens of all the players, and now let's see what Gabriella doing.
Oh, this looks very organized, doesn't it? So we've got numbers, we've got suits, numbers, suits.
Really different approach.
And have a look what she's doing. She's putting together all the in columns E to M. She's putting all these combinations. She's trying to score with ones or zeros, whether there is a combination or no. I think that's the most correct approach out of I've seen so far. At least the most organized, that's for sure.
Yeah, definitely. That would be the approach that I would have tried to take in this as well.
Yeah, I do love the organization. It looks amazing. I think it's going to be really helpful for her having the layout like that.
And it seems that she might be in a position to score the first 25 games right now because she has the zeros and ones for the right number of combinations. But it seems that she's also trying to put together all the other possible combinations so that so that she's not interfering. She knows that she has a lot of time left, and she goes up front, let's say, uninterfered and. Yeah, that could be a good approach. Like just keep modeling and get all the score, all the points at the end.
So one interesting thing about the way that she's doing this, though, is she's modeling it all for player one. And this is a particularly risky thing in the context of a competition, right? Because I think one of the things you mentioned before, Andrew, is that you need to get player one and player two and the winner in order to score any points for any of these questions. And so if she finds herself in a position near the end where she's scrambling for time and is trying to replicate player one's scoring system into player two, she might find herself in a bit of a pickle rather than sort of securing the points for these, the first earlier combinations.
That could be the case. Probably the easiest approach again here would be to what I would be doing in her shoes. In her shoes, I would be probably copying the whole tab into next sheet 2, for example, and then just adjusting the formulas to score the right cards, or maybe even moving the cards for player 2 on top of player 1 on this second copied tab. That would be good.
Okay, we have got Samir has scored some points. Shall we have a look and see what he has done to get those couple of points?
Okay, seems that's the answer to one of the level 1 games. So he probably needs to copy all the other answers as well.
Okay.
So we can see his labels. He's got a pair set of columns, and then he's got a 3-of-a-kind column and a 4-of-a-kind column. It's hard to see what he's doing with all these different columns, to be honest.
Well, he doesn't have zeros, and yeah, he does have numbers. I would imagine that if it's a 0, then there is no such combination. If it's a something, then there is a combination. I just wonder what these numbers mean. Maybe that's a multiplication or something that he has. Okay, counting formula over here.
Okay, I think I know what's going on. Those first 7 columns, I believe, are counts of how many times a card has appeared and whether it's appeared before. And so what he's doing in column BT was essentially a countif to see is there a 2 value essentially, and can we see that there are a pair of cards having been entered in. So now he has to adapt this approach to deal with a 3-of-a-kind, because I think that approach is probably going to work in the short term. But using countifs, if you see multiple items sort of come up, then I imagine that may well break for a 3-of-a-kind or a 4-of-a-kind.
Let's see.
On screen. Willem has a score of 396 at the moment.
Yeah, let's see what Willem has done. Okay.
So it's a large amount of points over here for him.
So Willem, if I remember correctly, he set up these tables, these matrices, and fortunately the screen resolution isn't quite enough to see what's going on, but I can see he's got a list of the different combinations below these tables now. So this seems to be where he's actually assembling the scoring.
Yeah, and the number of points indicates that he's been quite correct on the first round, and he's scored quite some numbers on the second round, on the second level of complexity. But some formulas were quite, some combinations were probably not according to his unified approach to formulas, so he has not been able to score them. So let's see how this unfolds.
So one interesting thing I'd like to point out is that his APM is much lower than what we've seen in both the previous rounds and elsewhere in this round as well, which may go, Andrew, to your point earlier, that high APM in Excel is not necessarily an indicator of successful performance.
Yeah, well, on the other hand, it still allows you, if you're doing things right and you have a high APM, then you're bound to win.
That is true. Alrighty. Why don't we move on to Chong again and let's see how he's going. Alrighty.
Okay, so yeah, he has quite some answers, but yeah, quite some formulas over there. What I see is that he's still trying to put these together. He's looking for different levels and combinations. The high card or no combination is not possible in the first 50 games. So there definitely should be at least one combination there, and ties are possible only in the last 25 games of the round given.
So you may recall I mentioned earlier on in the stream that professional esports players will often just spam keyboard shortcuts. They'll hit different controls that don't actually have an impact on the game itself. So one of the things I noticed Chong doing, he seems to be coming out from that sort of background, because you may notice sometimes you see the formula bar flashing back and forth. And what he's actually doing, he's hitting F2 and escape back and forth again as he goes into the formula. We just saw an example right just then. And what that's literally doing is just keeping his fingers warm and keeping his fingers moving so that it's ready for the next task that he asks them to do.
And his APM is one of the highest in the game, actually. One of the highest of all the players.
Yeah, it is. It does get to be a bit of a habit, doesn't it, to go the F2 escape, and it's quite helpful to be able to see the numbers, or as an auditing thing, to be able to see the numbers that you're picking up. It can get to be a bit of a habit.
Mm-hmm. Also looks good for the viewers as well when they see the big numbers on the APM screen.
Yeah, of course. Shall we move over to Gabriella and see how she's doing?
Gabriella's score has disappeared, so I'm wondering if she's copied over an NA result or an error over the answer sheet.
Oh no, she's got 4.
She's got 4 points now, which is good. Okay.
I just don't think that the numbers here and the answers are more or less correct, at least for the first one. The second player is definitely, it's only one pair, not 2 pairs. Sorry, it's a pair, not 4 of a kind. So something is wrong there. Meanwhile, seems that William has corrected some of his mistakes, and he is now 596 points in the lead for Samir.
Well, we're getting down to the last 4 minutes, so I would expect that we'd start to see some big jumps in the points.
Or we will also see some manual clickings of combinations, just trying to get some points.
We might see that too.
That is true, because I mean, it's not looking good for Samir at the moment, but between Chong and Gabriella, remember, only one of them needs to be ahead. They don't need to beat Willem, they just need to beat each other.
Exactly.
So Gabriella's got 92 points. She's corrected that error, that 4 of a kind in that player 2 response. So maybe this is her ticket out.
Yeah, it looks like this, but even then, it's only 92 points there, which like she should have scored like 25 times 4. It should be 100 points. So it seems that two rounds of level 1 complexity are still not scored correctly. She should be having 100 points by that time after she's scoring level 1. And for level 2, there will be more points, but she also has to add the combinations for straight and 3 of a kind. And I see that she's trying to do flush for now, looking for a flush.
Yeah. Well, Flush and Straight will give her the level 2. Actually, no, Flush is a level 3 combination, isn't it? So she needs to get her full house sorted before Flush is sorted.
I imagine she's going all in. She's really going all in here, trying to solve for all the possible combinations. Let's see how it unfolds. So for the straight, it's a little bit tricky because there are 7 cards. You have to make a combination of 5 of them. When I was doing a practice solution there, it was quite some tricky modeling for solving for all the different sequences and combinations of numbers, including that ace could be both high and low. Yeah.
Why are we heading to Chong at the moment? Chong just is now on the board. He's got his 12 points, which means he's got some things right. But it means that he's probably on track to start getting some larger numbers of points, hopefully.
Isn't he trying to do it manually? No.
Looks like it, doesn't it?
It seems that way almost.
He's trying to do some things, some formulas, but still at the same time he's trying to do some manual approach. Now he's copying this thing into the answer tab. He has 16 points now. He should be having, if all these numbers are correct, then he should be having 24, I believe, by that time. Now he's copying into the answer. Yeah, he has 20, which means that actually 2 lines, he has now 7 lines and only 5 of them are correct, are fully correct. But what he's trying to use the manual thing for the you see, I think his error here is that he's trying to click and select manually every single answer over here, which is probably not a good idea. He should be using a formula linking to the list of...
with 40 seconds left, I don't know if it's not a great strategy.
Remember, he can't see Gabriella's score, so he might just be trying to get something on the board just in case he's ahead of Gabriella at this point in time. Speaking of trying to get ahead, how is Samir going? With 30 seconds left, is it possible that he's close to clinching it from Willem? He's just got a number of additional points.
Yeah, Samir's just jumped up a little bit. Willem hasn't moved for a little bit. Now they can't see each other's scores, can they? Unless they happen to look across. But I would imagine that they're probably just really focused on getting the highest number of points that they can.
Yep.
Okay, and the time is up.
That's it.
And again, we have a single-digit score, and only Willem was the one who was able to score in triple digits.
Wow. Okay.
That was an interesting match.
So that means. What does that mean, Tim? So we've got Willem.
That means Willem is ahead, Gabriella's ahead, and the 2 of them will be proceeding on to the semi-finals.
Wow, so, amazing.
Shall we bring our participants back on camera? Hopefully everyone's back. Willem, that was a big sigh of relief.
Yeah, absolutely.
You were way ahead, Willem.
I thought 10 minutes was not much, but 20 minutes is not much either, if you have to do things like this. I'm happy.
Gabriella, how are you feeling? Well done.
Yeah, thank you. I'm fine. It was a fun case to do.
Yeah. We were admiring the logical, organized nature of your case. Looked good.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, and Samir, how are you feeling?
That was quite tough, right?
Yeah. And how did you find it, Chong? We were also admiring your keystrokes. That was quite impressive.
Yeah, keystroke, but not really a lot of points. No, it was good. It was I think I muddied myself up close to probably about 10 minutes mark. I just realized, oh crap, I have to put in P1 together with the rest of the floor. So yeah, it was interesting case. But yeah, no, congrats, Gabriella.
Okay, all right. So
tonight. I was saying Poland wins the battle of PWC tonight. So
yes.
So do we move on to the brackets and show what's coming up next? So with the events of tonight, Willem's taken the first quarterfinal against Samir. and will be the first semi-finalist, and he'll be competing against Gabriella in the semi-final round in, what is it, probably about 32 hours time or thereabouts, 31 hours
Something
time, I think.
like that. Yeah, it's going to be 5 p.m. London time.
So I think Chong's possibly bought himself a favour in this case, because that would have been a very awkward time in New Zealand. But it's probably not too bad for the Europeans.
Like midnight or something like that for New Zealand time.
I think it's 2 a.m. I think it's 2 a.m. or something. Yeah.
I'm sure he would have done it though. So, all right. So thank you, everyone. That was incredible to watch. We will sign off shortly, but before we go, just remember that if you would like to get your hands on those cases to have a look for yourself and see how you would have gone, you can download those from the FMWC website, which is fmworldcup.com, and a couple of them are available freely to download, and you can also purchase them as well as other cases. Don't forget also that we've got the FMWC Open coming up in a few months' time, so keep an eye out for that. And we'll see you in about, I think it's about 7 hours or so to see round 2 for the Europe and US match. And then we'll find out from that who is going to go into the finals, which will be tomorrow, 24 hours after that. So well done to everybody. Was there anything you'd like to add, Tim or Andrew, before we sign off?
Well, just my part, this has been a great match. It's been enjoyable watching the variety of different case studies. I think it's I don't think anyone expected some of the results that we've had. They've certainly been much more challenging with the pressure. And I know a lot of people like to say that you can proof test this in the back office, but there's nothing like being watched by hundreds of people to sort of make the brain do some very funny things when you're operating.
It's a very different story when you have the luxury of time versus being on display, having hundreds of people watching your every move and your keystrokes as well. So well done to all of the players.
Yeah, and if you'd like to be one of the players next time, so next battle, the FMWC Open will take place in November/December, and it's going to be open for everyone. There will be large brackets, a lot of players, and everybody is welcome to sign up. So again, sign up on our fmworldcup.com website. And we'll be looking forward. Anybody could be a star of Excelis Esports.
All right. Thanks, everyone. See you next time. Bye.
Thank you. See you. Bye.